Me, 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 mo, mo, moo, moo, me. We're getting ready. We are checking up our vocal cords, and we're getting ready to rock and roll all day long on the All Effing Wrestling Show. Tell them, JFB.
We got news, and then we are going to talk about what could be going down as the greatest weekend ever in the history of ever.
And our very own EVP Joe, he's going to be live at All In. He's going to be recording these special moments, and he's going to be our on the ground reporter.
I'm going to try. I will do the best that I can.
Boots on the ground.
But guys, before all that, I need someone to hit that music.
Yeah.
Climb for takeoff.
That's all systems go. We need that AFW logo up. Stat.
You're watching the AFW Network.
Good afternoon. Good morning. I'll see you later. I got leftovers in the fridge. You don't have to heat them up. I like it cold. It's cold pizza. I am, of course, the Chief Shenanigans Officer, the Prime Minister Sinister. I am the JFB, James from Boston.
Today's episode is entitled The Pre-Show, the Super Weekend. We're hitting you all over the place. We got NXT. We got Saturday Main Event. We got All In. We got the Super Show from a Super Card of Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
And Women's Evolution.
Yeah.
We got everything. This is a big pre-show. And
wait, but there's one more thing we're talking about today, guys.
And the Superman movie. That's right. Yeah. That's how super this is. We got Super Card Honor, Superman. We got everything.
We got pop culture super covered.
And of course, I am your Canadian hero. I am the patron saint of professional wrestling. I am that gingered up, bubbly son of a bitch. I'm Canada effing dry, damn it. And I hope that we're able to put a smile on your face today.
Yeah. And y'all know me. It's me. It's me. It's the EVP. And I know we're here to have some fun, but I do want to take some time to send prayers and well wishes out to everyone in Texas.
Yeah.
Got hit with massive flash flooding. Like 70 people have lost their lives.
Yeah.
So thoughts and prayers out there.
Yeah, there's
lots of prayers. Halos up for everyone out there.
There's a whole camp of girls that are missing.
Yeah, it was like, I think that still 11 or 13 girls missing.
Yeah. So we'll keep.
So halos up to them. But I also want to say, we got a bunch of new subscribers from the shorts that I've been making. I've been having a lot of fun making these shorts, and they've been doing all right.
Yeah.
Natalia Markova, I was talking to her the other day. And so she said, well, why aren't you making more shorts and reels?
Yeah.
Well, I said, well, because I don't have a sexy body like yours. and she said, I think that sounds like an excuse.
Yeah.
And so she called me on it. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe it is an excuse. So let's rock and roll with some of these shorts.
Don't take this the wrong way, but it's also the truth.
I got some boobs. A little bit.
Before we get started with the weekend of awesomeness, got to knock out some news, of course, because you can't go anywhere without any news. So, the news. From the four corners of the globe, from our studios to your home, this is FNN, the FN News Network, starring Canada Dry and the JFB.
So I got a message in my inbox.
Yes.
Asking me to do a cameo on another podcast. They're hitting their 300 episodes.
Oh, cool.
And so it was a good chance to promote our podcast because I'm not doing it. I don't know anything about this podcast. They're just asking me to. But it made me wonder, how many episodes have we done? We have to count them one by one.
We're gonna have to go through all of them. I think we're in the 250, 300 range. I mean, between our Wednesday show,
We've been doing this for over 4.5 years.
Yeah,
our 5th birthday is coming up.
Yeah, I might dump it into Chat GPT and ask them how many episodes we got.
But let's see if it's able to do it. Like that's the way to do it.
Okay, let me hold on a second.
Will it work since we've changed the name of the show?
That's true. We used to be called the Just Another Effing Podcast.
That's true, but it's all on. I mean, we rebranded to the AFW Network, so I'm actually curious. Like, let's see.
We're getting live information now on how many episodes we've done. Would that be funny if this was our 300th?
That would be interesting to line up right with Dynamite.
Let's see. This thing's taking freaking forever.
While he's doing that, Tiffany says there's a news article about how Cody has the best male booty, but she thinks it's LA Knight. Yeah.
Yeah. Chat GBT is not giving me anything. They can go.
We'll have to maybe count jelly beans.
I'm gonna have to see. In regards to Tiffany's comment, I don't know because I don't really compare men's butts. So sorry.
I mean, hey, Tiffany.
What about our friend of the show, Dallas?
Yeah, Dallas is the perfect.
Dallas, maybe we'll bring. See if we can get Dallas on the show, and he can hand the booty award out to the best male ass in wrestling.
I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that. Let's get to some news. Randy Orton's been in the news. He's been on several podcasts, talked about several things, including his mental health during his injury and his recovery, and the fact that homeboy put on he weighed over 300 pounds at one point during his injury layoff, which I thought was really interesting because that guy looks really good. Like, I think he looks in better shape now than he did a few years ago. I think he looks absolutely fantastic. So,
who are we talking about?
Randy Orton.
I could never imagine Randy Orton at 300 pounds. That man is so chiseled, it's ridiculous.
It is insane.
So EVP Joe.
Yes.
So did you miss 2 episodes of All That for Sure? Just one? I think you missed one, right?
Yeah, I missed last week's because I was up in the Poconos.
So you're not on the show. We're doing the power rankings.
I know. What the hell, guys? What the hell?
I'm looking. See, I would have put Will Ospreay higher, but I thought JFB would cover it. So
both you guys.
That's why we need EVP Joe on the show.
Clearly.
I can't put him on there just because. I mean, I can't put him as high. To me, right now, he is very much floating between A and B storylines, and I think that once all in,
dude, he's to me, he's sort of the linchpin of the A story. He's the one who is bringing all the good guys together. He's the one who's please be the one that is the takedown of the Bucks. Yeah. I think he.
We'll see him. I think Swerve's going to slip further down the list, especially if they lose.
God, they better not lose.
They're going to lose. They're going to lose. They're going to lose big.
But I think you could have a compelling story either way. If they win, then you got the Bucks doing janitorial work and stuff. That'd be great.
I don't see how this would work unless you're having Mox win, which would be the all-time biggest bonehead call of Tony Khan's career.
Yeah.
You can't have Mox lose the title to Hangman and then still have the EVPs have all the power. The kind of deflates having Hangman. It counters Hangman being the champion.
Yeah, but see, it works in my storyline because I have Hangman Page going heel. Like
But the problem with that is Swerve can't get comeuppance on him.
I mean, and there's nothing to say that they can't go to war. They
But
just
he can't get a title shot.
Yeah, they just can't do it for a title. That doesn't mean that they can't go to war. It's very open. Swerve has the ability to go against Hangman Page. They just can't do it for the belt.
But let's save this for our all-in part of the show.
So let's talk. So who watched Collision last night? Because someone came back after quite a while. Scorpio Sky is back. Not only is he back, he's in a faction with Top Flight and Christopher Daniels. What is the name of the faction?
Who said this?
I think you're talking about me saying I don't judge men's butts.
But you judge women's chests. I don't remember you saying that.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, what the heck, Tiff?
That's a red flag.
She's putting words in your mouth. She's turning you into like this.
She just got a red flag.
Whatever.
That's all I'm saying. She just got a red flag.
Oh, but anyway, back to the topic at hand. I saw this. Let me see if I can think of it because I saw a hilarious name and I can't remember now. But yeah, it is weird that it can't be SCU, obviously. So
right, yeah.
Well, they did play an SCU video in his comeback. In the intro.
That was a long video before.
Yeah, I liked it. Like they need to do this more often.
Yeah.
So like I think Top Flight is now part of SCU.
Or whatever the name of that group is going to be. Yeah.
Let's find out.
I also like Christopher Daniels being
the manager, yeah.
The manager of them.
But it doesn't matter. They're not really from California because, like Christopher Daniels is from Michigan.
But he's hailed as being from Southern California. Or
they are called Skyflight.
Yeah, that's what that would be a good name for them.
Yeah, it includes Top.
Oh, they're calling it. Oh,
I think that might just be what people are.
Yeah,
putting out
it's
there.
going to be.
So we'll find out.
No, it's right here. It's what?
Is this AEW's page saying this, or is this some?
No, this is from AEW. So it is Scorpio Sky, Top Flight, Layla Gray, with Christopher Daniels serving as a manager and trainer.
Perfect. That'll be great.
So,
can I say, Scorpio Sky was another chiseled man last night. My God, he was jacked.
He looked really good. I mean, it's good to get him in a 5-minute match because that way you're not exposing ring rust or anything like that. Because, I mean, Homeboy's been gone for over a year.
He was out with an injury. Then he came back because they started doing those vignettes of him smoking a cigar.
Do you know who else I would add to this faction?
Who?
Anthony Bowens.
Nah.
I don't think he's I think he needs to ditch Billy Gunn.
I don't know. They seem to be teasing something on last night with Bowens and Billy Gunn. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. So you know who might be back in WWE? Well, there's actually two people. One is officially back, and that is Chavo Guerrero. Chavo Guerrero is back in a official capacity. Now, they're not saying what exactly it is that he's doing. All they're saying, WWE has not confirmed anything more than saying that he is back in an official capacity. I have a feeling it's going to be with AAA.
Yeah, I would think so.
It might be with WWE. Who knows? But
probably like a liaison. It's probably a liaison between WWE and AAA.
Probably, yeah. But the Iconics might be back, and they have showed up in TNA. We know that TNA and WWE have this symbiotic relationship. So we might see the Iconics back at Evolution 2, which I think might be interesting because at this point, we don't know what's going on with Evolution 2. You are exactly
Well, let's hold it. Let's hold that for later in the show because we got lots to talk about.
So Chavo's back. Conics are back. So the rumor is that AEW is going to rebrand Ring of Honor. Now the floating.
Really? I have not heard this rumor.
Yeah, the theory right now is it's going to be called AEW : Ring of Honor.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure. They need to rebrand it in a way that's accessible to people. Just slapping on the AEW name is not enough. Get it?
Well, I think if they do that, it's because there's some sort of TV deal, and they want the AEW name recognized.
That's fine, but get it out of a paywall.
Yeah, I think that the only reason you're doing that is to get a TV deal, as if you're calling it AEW Ring of Honor.
Yeah. So on 83 Weeks, Eric Bischoff was talking about an idea that he had when the very early germination of NWO. Bischoff was actually going to fake his death to get out of TV for a while before he came back as the mastermind of the NWO.
Glad that didn't happen.
Yeah, I am too. Please, for God's sakes. I mean, Eric Bischoff is a very divisive person. You either love him or you
divisive.
Yeah, divisive. That's what I meant.
He's divisive as well.
Yeah, he's divisive as well. You either love him or you absolutely hate him. There is no in between when it comes to Eric Bischoff.
I'm giving Eric Bischoff a halos down.
I love Eric Bischoff. I think that guy is one of the smartest guys in wrestling. I mean, he took a Southern-centered wrestling promotion and he exploded it. If it wasn't for Eric Bischoff and the crap he pulled at WCW, WWE might not have had the success and the ability to buy it at some point. So
he had a few good tricks, and that's it.
Sting's the third person, damn it. Sting's the third person. Now Kenny Omega's in the news. Kenny Omega talked a lot because you're on the road to All In. It is less than a week away. And he talked about how he was about 24 hours away from actually dying because of diverticulitis. And when he was talking to Dave Meltzer mentioned that he's not the same wrestler he was previously to his diverticulitis. And he came back and said, "You're right. I'm not the same wrestler. And I don't think I ever will be because, when you go through this process, especially a medical process, it changes a person. It truly does. So he is all over the place on the internet. Watch a couple of his videos.
But I think Kenny Omega doesn't need to be that old Kenny Omega to be successful.
No, he does not.
Because there's some things you just don't need to do anymore. There's risks you don't need to take.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean the reality is that, and he mentioned it on several of the podcasts that he was on and some of the news junkets that he was doing is that you kind of have to work around your limitations when you get to a certain point, especially when you've had major surgery. Like the surgery he had was not small.
Surgeries, he said.
Surgeries. I mean, they took out 2 feet of colon. That's a lot. That's a crap load of guts right there, my friend.
And then they use those colons for real stuff in Blood and Guts match.
Yeah.
Okay, Kenny, can we use that stuff?
No.
That's a hard pack.
So Darby Allin's in the news. The man just finished summiting Mount Everest. Okay? How do you follow that up? He does a stupid car stunt that almost gets him killed. When is Tony Khan going to rein him in at some point and say,
I don't think you can.
You gotta just stop.
He probably has it in his contract that he can do what he wants.
It's like, I'm not signing this contract unless I get to do it.
I can tell you this. When you're dealing with contracts, especially with independent contractors and stuff, you have the ability to add clauses because he's got to be able to, like pro football players. Okay. A majority of your pro football all your pro football players are independent contractors on a contract. So these teams put in stipulations like you can't ride motorcycles, you can't do jet skiing. You can't put yourself in a position where you're going to cost the franchise money. And you need to kind of do that with Darby Allin because you're getting to a point where it's getting kind of ridiculous that this man is putting his life on the line literally from the second he gets out of bed to the minute he goes back to bed. This man is going to do whatever the hell he wants to do. You got at some point, knowing that he is a contract player for you, to kind of just temper him down, like tamp him down a little bit. Like there's no reason to jump a car through a building, over a roof, or whatever he did.
Well, you know what I do? With my cat, he's running around. And I just get the spray bottle. I go, and that just works. So maybe we can do that with Darby Allin.
Yeah.
Let's give him a couple sprays.
So Hangman Page, of course, is doing press junkets. He is going to be your main event at All In, the Texas Death Match with him and with Jon Moxley. And was probably the most Hangman Page has ever been in any kind of interview. Really talked about how he was not really expecting to be in the position that he's in right now, which is to fight for the AEW World's Heavyweight Championship. And I listened to it and was really touched by how humble he has become very much over the years. Like, he's your forgotten day one guy. I mean, like, you have the Bucks, you have Kenny Omega, you had Cody Rhodes. Like, you had these guys who were centered in creating and pushing AEW to where it is today. Rarely does his name ever really truly come up.
What's interesting about Hangman Page is he was in the title scene from day one.
Yeah.
He
Absolutely.
fought Chris Jericho to be the first ever champion.
Yeah.
And then it took him 2 years to get back to the top.
2.5, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think
and another 3 years to get back to the top again. So
I think in all, when you're dealing with your day one rosters that are still in AEW, I think he is probably the most underrated of your bigger names in that promotion. Like, he doesn't come across as somebody is like he's got to be in the picture, the championship picture or the A story picture all the time. Like, he doesn't. And he just kind of floats in and out of this universe, like one minute he's orbiting the world championship. Next thing you know, he's out drinking with the Dark Order. So, I mean, like, I like how they've used him, but yeah, he's very underutilized.
I think his feud with Swerve, it elevated Swerve, but it elevated him too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, of course, yes.
Yeah. So John Cena was asked, who is your Mount Rushmore of trash talkers? And Cena gave out the list. This is it. This is his Mount Rushmore of trash talkers. Roddy Piper, Steve Austin, The Rock, and CM Punk. It's not a bad list.
Not bad, but
I think like, because he's WWE, you're leaving out everyone who's not WWE.
That's
so
true.
Like, that's why it's like
Well, even why am I drawing a blank to his name? The guy,
MJF.
No.
MJF is like Mount Rushmore.
No, but I'm drawing a blank to his name. The guy who always put people's wives on his trunks. Drawing a blank to his name.
Oh, Rick Rude.
Rick Rude has to be on. Like, he has to be on your Mount Rushmore of trash talkers. That's all he did was talk trash.
Oh yeah, he did.
He talked trash to the audience.
Yeah, he talked trash.
Well, I mean,
to
you could say the same for
everybody.
the $1 Million Man too.
Yeah, like, it's just...
I just watched a vignette of him kicking all the kids out of the pool the other day. That was cool.
My favorite one, though, is him with that little boy bounce the ball 10 times, and I'll give you $100. And on 9, he's like, whack.
Yeah. He actually, not too long ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, actually met that kid again as an adult at a signing, at an autograph signing, and had a picture taken with him bouncing a basketball because he brought the basketball with him for DiBiase to sign. And I thought it was a cool picture. I'm not a fan
Yeah,
of
that is cool.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Ted DiBiase. Anytime you rip off kids and poor people, you're not okay.
Well, there's a welfare scam, and
Yeah,
Ted DiBiase Jr. He's in jail now.
he is in jail. Yeah,
That's what happens when you run a scam.
there you go. Pyramid scheme.
From future world champion to jailbird.
So one last thing, I want to congratulate Kalani Jordan and Carmelo Hayes. They have been engaged and are getting ready to start figuring out how to get a wedding done when you're on the road 300 days out of the year. So congratulations.
You two will be on the same show going forward for forever.
Yep.
Now, there's one other piece of news I want to talk about, which kind of will segment into one of the many things we're going to talk about in the main event. But for those who don't know or are not huge comic book nerds or fans, there was a man named Jim Shooter. Jim Shooter was the editor-in-chief of Marvel from the late 70s to about the mid-80s. Frank Miller's Daredevil run, John Byrne and Chris Claremont jumping onto the X-Men. He essentially saved Marvel Comics from financial destitute. He recently passed away yesterday, and really was the guy who not just saved Marvel, he kind of saved comics at the same time. So a lot of my favorite storylines from that era. So like the Craven Spider-Man issue, 5 or 6 issue run that they had, the Daredevil run with Frank Miller, the Man with No Fear, Chris Claremont and John Byrne jumping on and basically resurrecting the X-Men. Like this guy has stroke. And one of my favorite stories, I actually got the chance to listen to him at a Comic-Con. And he talked about how he got into the comic book business was he wrote and illustrated and edited multiple issues for DC Comics. That's how he got his start. He sent them to, at that point, Morrison, who was the editor-in-chief of DC Comics at that time in the 60s, and sold them a bunch of storylines, and they put him on payroll at the age of 16. And this guy's been involved with comics until probably about 5 or 6 years ago when he officially retired. So, yeah, Jim Shooter that's a huge loss for the comic book world. So,
Halo's up, Jim Shooter.
Yeah, Halo's up. You guys ready to get into?
Before we get into the news, I want to tell you a bit of a story.
Okay.
So I've got these Canada Dry Zeros.
Yeah.
And they're on sale at Safeway for $3.99 for 6 of them. Look how big they are. It's a good deal. But I'm going to get my lunch at the Safeway. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put this in the freezer. And when I get back. So I go to the Safeway. And, I'm just taking my time, not thinking about the pop in the freezer. And, I get back. And, getting ready for a nice cold drink. And I open it up. And like a shotgun. Bang! And it explodes and then there's Canada Dry all over the kitchen.
Yeah.
And the bottle is now this full of liquid. It's like it. Like the whole thing is out. And I just start laughing.
What else can you do at that point?
Yeah. There's this thing you can buy on Amazon. I don't know if it's for bottles, but I know it's made for cans, but I'm sure they make one for bottles. Essentially, it's water. You add a little bit of salt. And what it does is it spins the can and it super cools it. So you can get a absolutely cold Coca-Cola or whatever soda you want to drink in less than 30 seconds. It's freaking awesome. It's like $20. Best invention ever because I am like you. I get like a warm can of soda. I throw it in the freezer. You totally forget. And the next thing you know, your freezer is caked in frozen Coke. So
I always try to put an alarm on. Eric says that, and Tiffany.
I wanted to bring it up. So he's not in jail, but he's facing charges that include conspiracy to commit wire fraud, theft concerning programs receiving federal funds, and money laundering. And if convicted, faces anywhere from 5 to 20 years in prison.
woo.
Doesn't seem enough for all of that.
And it's not like regular prison; it's federal prison.
But isn't it white collar, Chris? Isn't it like blue collar?
Maybe. No, I don't think he's too well enough to be put into one of those.
I know somebody who is in a federal prison, and I can tell you the times that I've talked to him, it's not pleasant at all. Like
it shouldn't be. You're in prison. You should.
Everybody talks about it being like club fed. It's not. It's just as bad as regular prison, with the exception of maybe not being shanked all the time.
I've talked to our friend Prison Mike, and Prison Mike says this shit isn't good.
It's the Dementors.
Yeah, the Dementors, not like Harry Potter.
Guys, I think it's time to get into the main event. We got a lot to talk about. So let's go to it. This is the main event of the evening.
Eric Newcomb has been trying to get a federal prison. He hears it's quite nice.
I mean, he lives in Michigan. I don't blame him. No.
I love Duke Nukem. So, people of the AFW Network, what you want to talk about first? Canada Drive.
I know it's not about Superman. We talking about comics?
Should we go in chronological order of the events as they're happening?
Let's talk about
Superman. We'll talk Superman, then Ring of Honor, and then...
Yeah. So to kind of give an overview, the man who created Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn, was officially hired, and he runs the DC Comics version of their universe. They're not just their movies, but their TV shows, everything. This guy is in charge.
He's basically what Kevin Feige is to Marvel.
Yes, but better. So I am.
That's yet to be seen, honestly.
Yeah, I am a huge James Gunn fan. If you've never seen his early independent stuff, there's a movie with Rainn Wilson. It's basically it's his first superhero movie. It's called Super.
Was that him? That's Gunn?
That's James
Gunn. I love that movie.
He wrote and directed it. Yeah. He's been tasked to basically reboot the DC universe. Now,
soft reboot.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I'm a huge Superman fan. The day I was born, my grandfather bought an Action Comics and got a subscription for me. And so throughout my childhood, I was ingratiated with Superman, like everything that's Superman. And so I remember as a kid when I was growing up and I saw Superman with Christopher Reeves, I was blown away. That was the reason why I wanted to work.
JP, what's your favorite Superman?
My favorite Superman is the original. Is Superman 1.
Superman 2. It's Superman 2.
See, here's the problem. I love Superman 2, but I like the Richard Donner cut. I don't like the original version that came out.
I like them both. Like, there's not too much different in the Donner cut.
Yeah, it's how it's basically put back together. So,
what's your favorite Superman?
I don't know. I don't really remember the early Superman movies, so
you got to go back and watch those, man. There's some classic stuff there.
If you get a chance.
I mean, honestly, like my favorite Superman, ironically, is one where he isn't Superman, and that's Smallville. I loved that story.
I couldn't get into the Smallville.
You know what? I didn't at first, but a few years ago, I went and binge watched the whole series on Hulu.
Yep.
And it's so much better than I remember that it's getting credit for.
Yeah. My problem with Smallville when it originally came out was there was no Superman.
Yeah, no tights, no flights.
Yeah.
That's what bothered me. You always have that stupid red jacket.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see, because a lot of people online have talked about how it should have been Batman. Batman should have been what launched the new DC universe. But the reality is that Bugs Bunny is the star of Looney Tunes. Everything comes to Bugs Bunny. Mickey Mouse is the pinnacle, the acme of Disney. Everything comes down to Mickey
So
Mouse.
essentially, what you're saying is Batman is Daffy Duck.
Yes. Yeah. Batman is Daffy Duck. Superman
And
is the star of the show. For
Batman
Disney.
is Donald Duck.
Yeah.
Superman. I don't know if you know this guy, Eris Quinones. He runs like comic channels, but I watch a bunch of his videos, but like he was like takes that everyone should agree with, and whether you want to admit it or not, and I'm a massive Marvel guy over DC, but Superman is the face of superheroes.
Yeah.
There's no getting around that.
Yeah.
Without Superman, none of these other superheroes exist.
Very much.
Probably not.
You got to start with the ultimate hero and Superman, and that's why I love him. And he's the ultimate, I guess, Christ figure.
Well, it is the story of Christ. I mean, and which is funny because
Jor-El sent his only begotten son.
yeah, which is funny because the two guys who created him are Jewish.
Yeah.
So, which I always thought was kind of humorous, but yeah, you're right. I mean, Superman is essentially the retelling of the story of Christ. The problem that I've had with Superman in terms of like Superman Returns with Brandon Routh, with Henry Cavill as Superman and Man of Steel, my problems were always that Superman was omnipotent and at times seemed to be unbeatable. And you try to make him a character of humanity that a normal person can associate with. Because like when you look at like Iron Man, when you look at Batman, like they don't have superpowers. Iron Man is rich and so is Batman. And this is the reason why they can be.
And they have toys.
Yeah.
I think like what has been missing in the Superman movies is the light that Superman kind of exhibits.
Yeah.
Like
I will say, like
the hope that he represents.
Like the Brandon Routh Superman. I will never forgive the people who made that movie because they made Superman a deadbeat dad.
Yeah. Well, and the thing was that they try to humanize Superman, and they try to bring him down to a point where you can relate to him on a certain level.
But still, Superman would never do what he did in that movie.
All right, guys, we got a short time to cover everything. So how about this, Jeffy? Give us your thoughts on what this movie is going to be, and then I will, and then EVP will be.
I think what's going to happen is that you're going to see a Superman that has to account for his actions. And I think that it paints Superman not in a great picture because the tagline is no longer for truth, justice, and the American way. That's not the tagline for Superman anymore. It's a completely different tagline.
It's the human way.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with this character. Because if you've watched a lot of the trailers and a lot of the commercials, Superman's put on point. He has to account for his actions, and that changes a lot of stuff. My fear is that there's going to be too many other heroes that he's trying to launch with Green Lantern, with Hawkgirl, with all this and all that. The one thing I'm kind of happy about is Lex Luthor is not about real estate. That's been the problem with Lex Luthor in all the movies is real estate. Superman 1, Superman 2, Superman Returns. It's about buying land. It's not sexy, and it's not villainous in any way, shape, or form. You know, Lex Luthor buys a house, and all of a sudden he's a bad guy. That doesn't work for me, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm seeing it on Tuesday. I'm really stoked. I'm really excited. I have a feeling I'm not going to be disappointed. So,
Well, Wednesday night, I look forward to hearing not spoilers, just a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or Halo's
yeah.
up, Halo's down.
What do you think, Canada Dry?
I'm excited for Crypto, Super Dog.
Yep.
I'm excited for one of the Green Lanterns. I think Hawkman's in it too.
Yeah.
All these different other characters in the DC universe joining Superman's universe, which is exciting. I think with this giant Godzilla guy he's fighting, I hope that this since it's done from a comic book, you're gonna get true comic book stories, not Hollywood stories.
Yeah.
So I think either you're gonna really love this movie or you're gonna hate it. I think there's gonna be no middle ground.
Yeah. Well, if you want to kind of get an idea about where this is going to go, there's a great comic series that came out called Superman: A Man for All Seasons, which is basically Superman dying. He's dying of cancer because of the yellow sun. It's written by Grant Morrison, who, to be honest with you, is probably one of the greatest comic book writers of all time. This guy puts philosophy into his comic books when he writes, and he is an absolutely brilliant writer.
Do you guys think that they'll introduce the Bat Hound and Brave? I don't think they will.
I don't know. They are so tight-lipped right now with what's coming out Batman-wise. I mean, we don't have, the good thing about James Gunn is James Gunn has said if the script's not ready, we're not going to make the movie, because that's been Marvel's problem for decades.
All right, we can talk about comic books forever, so let's get EP Joe's thoughts and let's move on to the next thing.
So I don't really have, I'm going to be honest, I don't have expectations for this movie but I will say I am glad that this isn't an origin story, because we've seen it so many times.
Oh, yeah.
But like I was telling JFB, as an AEW fan, I hope this movie does not flop. It needs to be a massive success, because I am afraid for what happens to DC and TB and Warner Brothers Discovery if this flops.
Yeah.
As a future for AEW. That's more of my concern.
Yeah.
Because they've already split. Warner Brothers Discovery is already splitting into the TV stations and everything else into one, so that it can't afford to have a major miss with
Jeffy, do you have the card? Sorry, you finished?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you. Jeff, do you have the card for Super Card of Honor?
I do. It's not very big, but I do have it. So we have the Sons of Texas, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara versus the Infantry, Sean Dean and Carly Bravo. That's for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. We have Bandito versus Takeshita for the Ring of Honor World's Heavyweight Championship. We have Athena versus Thunder Rosa for the Women's Championship. And then we have Lee Moriarty versus Blue Panther, which I think is going to be I think that might actually be, to be honest with you, I think it might be the main event, because I think someone's coming back. And I think it's Bryan Danielson. Because Bryan Danielson and Blue Panther are thick as thieves.
Yeah. At the recent World World War, whatever they're calling it, Danielson came out to help Blue Panther.
Yep.
So,
yeah, I have a feeling, in all honesty, that's when we get Bryan Danielson back. He shows up at Ring of Honor's Super Card of Honor, and then he eventually shows up at All In, I feel. I don't know what capacity, but it wouldn't surprise me if somehow he was to find a way to screw over Jon Moxley.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
Takeshita and Bandito.
It's going to be a barn burner.
Yeah. Dude, they were doing that 6-man tag match they had the other week.
Yeah.
But I think Takeshita is walking out the Ring of Honor World Champion.
I agree with that. I
I
agree with that.
can absolutely see that. Could you imagine how insufferable Don Callis can become this time next week if Takeshita wins on Friday night and if Kyle Fletcher wins on Saturday?
Oh yeah.
And what about Okada beating Omega? Like,
I don't think that one's happening, but
I don't think that's happening either, but it's still.
You never know. You never know.
That's true.
And have all the baby faces win.
But once again, I have there's something cooking in my head that I want to see as to why Okada needs to lose. Well, we'll talk about it.
Does Thunder Rosa walk out with that woman's title?
No.
Because, like, at some point, you got to put Athena on the main roster, and Thunder Rosa kind of needs.
Look.
Thunder Rosa needs that sort of push, and just let me finish, and I'll let you go. Thunder Rosa needs that push because her career is like, if you put that Ring of Honor woman's title on her, let her simmer down there and build up her name again, and Athena can come on the main roster. That's what Athena's been pushed. Like, she's done a great job down there, but you're holding her back.
I think it would be an absolute waste if Thunder Rosa is the one who beats her after 900 days as champion.
Yeah.
I think I could see this happening. Athena retains her title on Friday night. Athena wins the All-In Gauntlet. And then we'll go from there to where maybe there's a champ versus champ match with a certain belt collector.
But if you take the title off her, it might be better if she wins the gauntlet.
I'm a big proponent of you can legitimately make somebody a massive star if you have someone go over Athena. And I don't think it should be Thunder Rosa. There's no point. There's no purpose for it. There's no reason.
Thunder Rosa, if you don't do this, like, you might as well just fire her.
Yeah.
The women's division in our AEW/ROH is fine without her.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, but I don't get Thunder Rosa's character anymore. Like, her running around.
She doesn't have a character.
Person. I don't get it. There's only one person that needs to be Athena, and that's Billy Starks. There's no one else right now that's in AEW, not Ring of Honor, just AEW, that has the recognition and the type of talent to take over for when Athena loses. There isn't.
I think there's one person, but there is one person, but I don't want to see them go to ROH full time, and that's Willow.
Yeah.
But I don't want Willow stuck behind a paywall in ROH.
Is there any other match you guys want to talk about on this card?
Not really.
I hope the Sons of Texas drop the tag titles.
Who are these? Who are they facing? Sons of Texas are facing who?
The infantry.
The infantry. Carly Bravo and
Carly Bravo and Sean Dean. So
they're part of They're part of Shane Taylor Promotions.
Yeah.
So you've seen them on AEW TV.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Takeshita is probably going to win. I don't think Athena's going to lose. It doesn't make sense to take the belt off of her right now.
Dude, like, I would put the ROH title on Takeshita. Let him go up to Canada. Let him go over to Japan with it.
Yeah.
He did wonders with the international title. Let him do it with the ROH world title.
Hell yeah. All right. What's next? Is it?
Let's go with NXT.
Okay. NXT. We've got 4 confirmed matches. We have the TNA Championship signing. They're not going to do it. They're
not doing a match. They're just doing a segment.
They're going to do it on the pay-per-view. It's going to be Joe Hendry, Trick Williams, and Santana.
Dude, not only are they not doing a TNA title match on the pay-per-view, they're like, you know what? TNA doesn't even get to show the signing of the contract. Man.
So,
maybe they could show the clip on their show.
Yeah, that's different, though. That's different than having them there live actually signing the contract.
We're going to get a tag team match. It's going to be Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe, otherwise known as Mariah May, versus JC Jane and Fallon Henley. Okay.
So I think Blake Monroe's got to get a win here on her first. What's his first match? Or
I mean,
second
this would
night.
be her first televised match.
Yeah, she's had one house show match.
Yeah. You have Sol Ruka versus Izzy Dane for the North American Women's Championship, and then you have your heavyweight champion Obafemi taking on Inamura for the NXT World's Heavyweight Championship. I'm just gonna say this. It's a hot take, but I don't give a shit about any of this.
This
Like-
I can't like this is what they're putting up to counter All In.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, I don't know,
I feel-
with the exception of JC Jane and Blake Monroe and Jordan Grace, I don't know who any of these other people are at all. Like, that shows you how much I care about NXT. I haven't watched it in almost 2 years.
So
I don't.
Obafemi's probably going to win then.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Oba's absolutely.
Yeah. I don't.
Here's
Who's his opponent?
Yoshiki Inamura.
Is he from like Evolve or something? Tiffany.
I have no idea.
Tiffany's the
Tiffany,
person
who
to
is
go.
this person?
So here,
Yoshiki.
like, I legitimately feel bad for NXT. Like, I feel bad for everyone this weekend because it just doesn't feel like WWE really cares.
I love you. I love you, Shane.
like you're counter programming NXT up against All In.
But here's the cool thing, though, EVP. You don't have to watch this live.
No, you don't. You don't have to watch.
You can just watch. If you're waiting for Saturday night's main event to start, you know what? I'm going to watch some of this NXT.
You're missing my point though. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel like WWE cares.
They don't.
It feels like they're just throwing something together to throw something together. It's not something that's well planned out that has story behind it. It just feels like they're doing it to doing it. Same with Evolution too.
We'll probably get
We'll talk about that in a few minutes, but
Yeah.
we'll probably get a couple more matches. I'm imagining before the event, like, because this seems like a small card.
NXT always is a small card.
Yeah.
Everything is always a small card.
I mean,
The seating for this is not very high. Like, I think it's like 1,000 people or something.
NXT is always small crowds.
I'm just going to say this. I think NXT's whole entire brand is watered down horse piss. It's not good. There's not a star on there. Your only big star outside of maybe Obafemi is Trick Williams, and he's wrestling for a different promotion as their champ. That's
Well,
bad.
you got Paige.
Who?
All ego Paige.
What's he done? Same with Ricky Saints. Like, I actually took the time to watch an Ethan Page and Ricky Saints match. It was stupid. It was ridiculously horrible. But nobody's doing it.
we're not here to hate on NXT. We're just like,
They
It's
had
bad.
NXT, like they don't do a good job of pulling in the casuals. It's like the same criticism that a lot of people throw at AEW, you can throw at NXT.
that's probably fair. If they're not aiming for a lot of people to fill out that place.
Yeah. I mean, Shane says it best.
Now, do you? There's rumors that Ricky Saints is gonna get up to the big card soon.
Why?
I don't know. There's rumors.
His work on NXT.
The rumors was like that was the rumor when the draft was supposed to happen around this time.
Yeah.
So that's why they sort of had him drop the title, and then he sort of just. But now he's back on NXT because now they're not expecting to do the draft until the fall when the new season starts for a ratings bump.
Can I just say, who cares? Why have a draft if everybody's just going to wrestle on every other show? It doesn't make sense.
Because they can say, "Come watch the draft."
God.
All right, so let's move on to Saturday night's main event, where they've sold over 10,000 tickets for this thing. It's going to be.
Well, of course, yeah, because it's Goldberg in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, God. Goldberg and ugh. Let me grab the.
So I know there's what
It's not
all I know of is Goldberg and freaking and
We
Gunther.
got Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre.
Oh, that was just added last night,
Yeah.
Friday night, right?
We got Seth Rollins versus L.A. Knight.
Yeah. And then you have Goldberg versus Gunther. That's it. That's
typically you're gonna have is this a 2-hour show or is it an hour and a half like it used to be?
I'm not sure.
I'm not watched one Saturday's main event. I don't know.
You're not gonna watch it?
They are not saying it how long it's gonna be.
I'm gonna be in Texas that night. No, I'm not gonna sit in my hotel
Oh
room.
right. Maybe you come back to your hotel room and you're bored and you watch some Saturday Night Main Event.
I don't know. We'll see.
There's a lot more stuff to do in Texas than to just watch that crap.
Are you gonna be on the All Effing Wrestling show that Sunday?
No, I'll be on a plane. I will
You
not make
son
it.
of a bitch.
Again, it's another. Who cares? Like I don't want to watch this because I don't want to watch Goldberg win. It doesn't.
Okay, let's start. This is an easy card to go through.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. Who you got winning this?
McIntyre.
Neither. It's a double count out, double
Oh
disqualification.
yeah, you're gonna have a screwball finish.
Yeah.
I think McIntyre needs that big win.
I think so too.
They tease him being Cody's next after Cody wins the belt off of Cena.
You're assuming Cody wins the belt.
I think he's gonna win it.
Oh, at SummerSlam? Nah,
Yeah.
it's not gonna happen.
Well, that's another topic for another day. We're gonna be talking SummerSlam predictions.
Oh, we'll be doing
It's
a
gonna be 2
SummerSlam
nights, right?
show.
Yeah, it's a 2-night show.
Yeah.
And Seth Rollins is gonna kick the hell out of LA Knight. There's no way Seth Rollins is losing this.
Not
No.
a chance.
Not at all.
It's basically 4-on-1. There's just not a chance.
Yeah, it's gonna be shenanigans. LA Knight will put a good fight, but he's gonna lose.
I mean, I'm not looking forward to this at all. Like, I mean, I'm going to probably watch it just because I want to see it's like you're driving on.
And we have to talk about it on the next show. We're gonna have to talk some of this stuff on the
Like
Sunday.
you're driving on the road and you see a horrible accident. Everybody stops because they have to look.
Car crash,
That's
baby.
what this is. This is rubbernecking at a car crash at its best.
Okay, I got a question for
Put
you.
the
too.
strap on a guy that can barely get in and out of the ring, and you're gonna make Gunther look like an idiot.
Luckily, I don't have any exes.
Did you marry your high school sweetheart?
Yeah, me and my wife have been together. We started dating halfway through my junior year in high school.
Oh, that's
That's cool. That's cool. I love that kind of shit.
So, question: the main event, Gunther versus Goldberg. Over or under 3.5-minute match?
Over.
Over. I think so.
Well, you got time to fill.
Not necessarily. I mean, you could have a 20-minute Goldberg entrance.
He's gonna need it.
Okay, so
Because after he concusses himself again after slamming his head into it.
hopefully he's learned that he's not going to do that.
He learned. Come on now, it's Goldberg.
Now, Gunther wins, or do they carry this out all the way to SummerSlam?
Gunther wins.
JP, Gunther wins?
I mean, I want Gunther to win, but I think they're gonna give it to Goldberg.
Because that's the only reason that makes sense to take the title off Uso.
Yeah.
Because you don't need the title for this match.
Yeah, they're gonna put it on Goldberg. He's probably gonna kick someone in the head. He's gonna knock out Gunther, put him out on the rail for a couple years, and we're gonna have to deal with Goldberg.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because they did that little piece where they're like, what if you win? He's like, interesting dilemma.
Yeah.
Do they have where he wins to pop the crowd and then out comes Seth to cash in?
No, I think this is setting up for SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Where he will have his actual last match
Oh, God.
with Gunther.
I hope not.
Now, they might have Seth cash in there. That's my prediction.
Can we talk about something else now, please?
Okay. All right. Let's talk about the women's Evolution. I'm actually excited about this. I'm excited about this because it's nothing, all the other stuff is done, and this is Sunday night, but they're killing them with this Beyonce concert across the street and like backloading it like at the end.
I don't understand why they're like, let's run a pay-per-view opposite of Beyonce at the same time on the same night. Like, what were like? I just
hold on. Tiff roots for the couch and the casting couch.
oh,
that was a go. I had to show that. Sorry. So it's across the street, right? Right across the street.
It's like right
got a
across.
Beyonce concert.
Now, me and Canada Dry have had this conversation, and I know where he stands, and he knows where I stand. I don't think Trish Stratus is needed for this event. They have more than enough women to where if they had put even the slightest bit of an ounce of effort into booking the show, rather than just having both champions stand in the ring and pick their opponents, they don't need to bring. Like, I know why they're bringing in Trish Stratus. They've only sold 4,800 tickets for the event.
Yeah,
part of that is because there's nowhere for people to go because Beyonce people have taken up all of the accommodations around town.
Yeah.
Or it's just
so you said
expensive.
that originally this was supposed to be the week before, like this week.
It was supposed to be yesterday.
Supposed to be Saturday. All right.
Yeah, Saturday. And I think it would have done massive if they would have did it yesterday. It would have had the whole weekend to itself, other than Collision.
Yeah.
Didn't the first Evolution do really well?
I don't remember, to be honest.
I thought it remember being a big
It broke
success.
a lot of records for WWE. Here's my problem. Mercedes Moné said it best when she said, "You guys waited too long to do a second version of Evolution. You waited too long." And to be honest with you, she's totally correct. I'm going to go through the matches really quick. We got JC Jane versus Jordan Grace for the NXT Women's Championship. You got Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. You got Raquel and Roxanne versus Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair for the tag belts, not including the two other teams that they have not announced yet. You have the Battle Royal for the Women's World Championship match at Clash in Paris. That yet has been undetermined. Nobody's been announced for the actual Royal Rumble. You have Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus for the WWE Women's Championship. You have Jade Cargill versus Naomi in a no-holds-barred match, and you have Becky Lynch, Bayley, and Lyra Valkyria, a three-way dance for the Intercontinental.
Where's the women's U.S. title at?
I'm excited for Jade Cargill and Naomi.
Julia. Look, you put the title on Julia, and then you're not going to have her on the pay-per-view. Like, what?
They might show up. You got a little bit of time. Maybe Monday they might do it. But I'm excited for this Cargill versus Naomi thing. Like, this is something that she can shine in because it's a street fight.
I'm not, because I'm afraid she's going to hurt Naomi.
Now, this isn't wrestling. This is a street fight. It's easier.
She's going to hurt her. Jade Cargill is not a good wrestler.
Yes, but it's street fighting. You can just whack it with a frying pan.
I'm gonna say, in all honesty, like the only one I'm really looking forward to is Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley.
I'm not even looking forward to that. Like, there is no effort put into this.
Yeah.
You just have Io say, "Oh, I want a face shoot." Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Rhea's a star, but good Lord, she's starting to become the next Charlotte Flair, where she just
Rhea Ripley needs that belt because this Io Sky thing isn't working.
Yeah.
It didn't work when she was champion either.
Rhea's a big deal.
Is she though?
She is a big deal.
Who was she made better?
It's not about that. She's just the star.
That's
like I said.
She's the champion.
Yeah.
But that's on booking. That's on booking. If a star's shining on me and I go out there and everyone loves me, it's up to booking to make sure the other people.
No, I'm talking about when it comes to wrestling, Rhea doesn't make other people look good. She doesn't sell their offense. She'll get right back up from big moves. That's on her. That's not on Triple H. Triple H is a whole other story.
One match I'm looking forward to here in this one is you got the triple threat for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah,
that'll be good.
Bayley, Valkyria, and Becky. That's going to be cool. Come on.
That's
It's
gonna
like
be
the only match with a legitimate story.
yeah.
I like all three of these people. Like even though Becky,
it'll be
even though
good.
Becky's a heel, I still like her.
I mean, in all honesty, I'm just going to flat out say it. This is probably the most piss poor booking WWE has done in a while. You have 2 PLEs that are so uneventful that there's no match on there that says I have to watch it. I have to buy Peacock and watch these matches. Period. And you know they're going to put over people they shouldn't put over because Goldberg's a big name. Goldberg's a bigger name than Gunther is. You know, Trish Stratus.
Spoiler. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss are your new women's tag team championship.
I mean, things have been booked.
It wouldn't surprise me, but I think we should wait for the other 2 teams because you never know.
There's no way. They've already focused on it. Charlotte and Bliss are walking away with those tag titles. There's no way they don't win. I put $1,000 on this and I walk away rich.
I will say, as much as we are bitching about this, I still think the matches are going to be good because all these ladies are talented.
I'm excited to watch this on a Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. It's time to talk about All In.
Well, luckily there's not 15 matches announced yet, so we're good.
we got some new matches announced though yesterday.
Yes, we did. We had like two matches announced last night.
The tag, to be fair, criticism, the way they've booked the tag titles for All In is piss poor.
Yeah, like to sit there, like I thought they were doing great with Hurt Syndicate and Speedball Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight, but to then throw in Christian and Nick Wayne after Nick Wayne didn't win the match.
I thought if you could at least tell the story of why they're getting in because Nick Wayne wins.
Yeah.
By the help of Christian, probably. That's what they should have done.
Mm-hmm. Even if you would have did the thing of like Nick Wayne hitting Wayne's World and then you have Kevin Knight throwing Nick Wayne out and you have Kevin Knight pin Shelton, which is a big deal, by the way. Let's not forget that. And then you could have did a little vignette with Christian demanding that we be inserted in this match because my son won. He should have won that match. That would have been perfect.
But I would have had Christian helping him win. Just to
whatever. Yeah, like it's just I just don't understand adding in a team after they lose. Like if I want to rip on WWE for it, we got to rip on AEW.
We got to rip on AEW. And they were hinting at that the trio's titles being on the line.
Yeah. I think we're gonna get them, and I'm curious. So they announced this for next Wednesday an 8-man tag. Oh, I hate the fucking term all-star, but an 8-man tag match. Do you think we possibly find out who the third person will be? Will they come out to help the heels win? Like
maybe Gabe Kidd is.
It's probably going to be Gabe Kidd. I don't see it being anybody else.
It could be Gabe Kidd. Yeah, like
was it because Pac isn't better?
Yeah,
I don't know what's wrong with Pac. Yeah, he injured his ankle, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it won't be him. It could very well be Gabe Kidd or someone. I saw on the internet someone floated out the idea of Hook, which makes sense.
That would be really cool. I like that.
I mean, that would be interesting, but I mean, you're talking about the Death Riders. And when Yuta is your worst person on your team and he actually is really good, putting Hook there is kind of like saying, hey, can my little brother tag along? I know he can't do anything, and he's mouthy, and he whines and cries all the time.
This might happen, though. This might happen by
I hope not. I hope not.
Speaking of you, does someone get that man a haircut?
He's going for the Chewbacca look. See, I'm trying to do this too.
He's
Like, how does he? I don't know. I know how he's like during that video promo. Like, he's like, yeah, it's our titles. I'm like, you don't even know what you're talking
He might
to.
be one of those shaggy dogs that have the fur cover in there.
Can I just say that he kind of looks a lot like when Garth Brooks decided to become an emo singer named Chris Gaines?
Yes.
He has the hair in front of his face, and I'm like, that's
Shane, we know your next look. Grow your hair down. Grow your hair down, Shane.
I mean, I think it's going to be Gabe Kidd. I don't want Hook. I don't. Hook should go to WWE or Evolve or somewhere else. I think where the product is for AEW, it's gone way beyond Hook. Like, Hook has stayed in the same place. AEW's gone a mile and a half away, and he's still in the same run. I think it's time to cut bait. Like, I get it. He's Taz's kid.
I think that's the problem. He's Taz's kid. He'll always have a job as long as they want to keep Taz happy.
So, I mean, I see the trios being a 0 hour. I don't see it making the main card. I think it's very well going to be a 0 hour.
And that'll be a good place for it. Just give some chaos before the show starts.
Yeah, get the crowd pumped up with a trios title match on the line, where you can just let everybody go crazy and beat the living hell out of each other, and you can finally. You got to keep the belts on the Ops. You can't give it to the Death Riders.
Yeah, they don't.
You just can't.
Well, that could be the one sort of thing that they do win in the night.
No, I think they honestly, the Death Riders, and the Bucks, they should all just come out as big losers.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that the Death Riders need to break up tonight on Saturday, but this should be the catalyst to bump it forward.
Here's the problem, though. You have the Ops, which are in an A storyline right now, and you get rid of those belts from them, you neuter them. It's essentially what
they're actually the coolest trios champions in a while.
Yeah, like, they're not relevant at that point. They go into obscurity. They're either going to go to
This is the most relevant they've been since they were introduced. When the Bucks came back from their suspension and they had that best of 7 series.
And it's mostly with Carlos Hobbs and Samoa Joe.
Yeah. Like, it sucks.
Was there another match announced yesterday, EB Joe?
It was the triple threat tag match.
Yeah.
And hold on. I can tell you here in a second. Maybe not.
Eric with a hot take. If they get rid of the Death Riders, I might consider watching it. The Death Riders have gotten a lot better since you stopped watching.
Yeah, especially with the injection of the Bucks in there.
Yeah, the Bucks have reinvigorated it.
Yeah.
I feel like there was. I just can't remember what it was.
Yeah. I feel like right now your 2 matches for 0 hour, if you do 2, would be the trios and the TNT Championship.
Oh, I don't put that. Oh, yeah, that's right. The TNT Championship was announced.
Yep, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
yeah. You're getting Kyle Fletcher. Well, you had Kyle Fletcher, and you've taken all his momentum away by putting him in this stupid storyline with Adam Cole. Because still to this day, anytime I see Adam Cole and he has the championship, I go, oh my God, that's right. He's the TNT champion. That's how memorable this reign has been for Adam Cole.
Yeah. Well, I think if you put that on the pre-show, you're hurting Kyle Fletcher's star too. You got to put that on the main card.
Yeah, absolutely. They dropped the ball on Kyle Fletcher. He was hot for a minute.
I think, though, you get the belt on Kyle Fletcher, start fresh.
Hey, Eric, go back to Dynasty. That's when the Bucks really got involved in the Death Rider stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yes, you're answering his question here.
Yes.
Yeah, when the Bucks joined, when the Bucks screwed over Swerve.
Yeah. So, I mean, the gauntlet matches seem interesting, but I mean, who do we think comes out of?
Well, let's
Those
talk about the
guys-
men first, then we'll talk about the ladies.
Men,
You got
I think
MJF
it's
winning
MJF.
this thing.
I think it's
MJF.
MJF. I will say, AEW is finally starting to listen to people, and they're advertising Mystico
Yeah.
for this match, which is smart because they're in Texas.
Yeah.
Very high Latino population is a smart
Yep.
thing to do.
I think
I love the fact that the three people involved are all intertwined because
Yeah.
like it's a story in its own for that match.
Yeah. I think MJF comes out with the win. I mean, we don't know who's in it because they haven't announced the gauntlet, and we probably won't know until the match starts who's coming out. But I think MJF has the best shot of getting out of there because it gives him that ticket to a championship match.
Yep.
And
Something
also,
that
you look at probably of all the people in there, he's the brightest star because everyone else has matches.
I will say I fully understand why they debuted Scorpio Sky on Saturday night because they were in Cali.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the pop he would have got in Texas if he would have came out in this match?
Oh yeah.
I thought that would have been cool. But once again, I completely understand re-debuting him in his backyard makes sense.
Yeah. I
Again,
mean,
the women's gauntlet.
it's Athena's.
I feel like it's a
Does the question before we get with that? Does Harley Cameron show up?
Yeah, absolutely. They don't have a choice. They have a thin roster. You know, Megan Bain.
If she had that surgery on her nose.
Yeah. Oh,
So
they'll put a
hopefully
mask on her.
no.
They'll put a mask on her.
I don't think AEW has a thin roster. It's just that their mid card is so much more bulkier than the top of their card right now.
Yeah.
So it's hard to imagine anyone but one or two people winning this match.
Yeah, I think it's Athena. It doesn't make
Like
sense.
this is what I was alluding to earlier. I could absolutely see Athena retaining her ROH Women's World Title on Friday night.
Yeah.
Coming Saturday, winning the gauntlet, and then going after Mercedes in a title for title match of some sort.
I could see someone like Thekla or Megan Bain winning because who's ever winning this gauntlet isn't winning the title.
I don't know. I think if
Because you don't want a short reign for Mercedes Moné.
I think if Mercedes wins the title, then yes, I don't think they are the winner does. But if Mercedes loses and Tony retains, then I could absolutely see the winner of this taking the title off of Tony.
Yeah, but let's be honest. I mean, I love Athena and I love Timeless Tony Storm. But I would really rather see Monet versus Athena.
Two. Because that first match they had in Boston was phenomenal.
Yeah. Like there's something to be said that you can have Athena lose to Mercedes Moné at whatever pay-per-view she's going to cash in at. And so now Mercedes has the Ring of Honor belt as well. And then now you have to, Athena basically has to step back, reassess, and go back after the belts again. And I think that makes for better storytelling than because I don't know, for some reason, like Athena.
Do you know what would work?
What?
If Athena said, listen, I've won, but I'm willing to put this Women's Ring of Honor title on the line too if you put that TBS title on the line as well.
Yeah.
So you could be like, I've already won a right for the world title, but I'll put this Ring of Honor title on the line too if you put
Real quick, speaking of Mercedes Moné, so I don't know if any of you know, but Chris Statlander won like a title over in England. In Eve. Yeah, she's like the new, I forget what her title is. But Mercedes retweeted it with a big eye emojis. And then Chris
He's like, you stay away from me.
I love it. I love it. I mean, does Statlander show up at the Gauntlet?
Oh,
she
Statlander's
better
in the
be.
gauntlet for sure.
Oh yeah, she is. She's the first person in, right? I mean, does she have a chance?
I think she does. Yeah.
You know, because I mean, like my problem with Athena versus Toni Storm is their styles are very conflicting, and I think that doesn't. I don't think it transfers over as well as Monet versus Athena because their styles are very similar.
I'm going to be honest here. My money's on Thekla or Bane because I think Mercedes Monet needs somebody fresh.
Yeah.
To go, but
it could be Camille.
Yeah, Camille can show up.
You know
as
what?
well.
You're right. It very well could be.
I mean, I
don't think so though because she's off getting ready to film Gladiators. So
from what I've heard, it's on hold for right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. From what I've heard from people that work crew, that
is it because WWE's mad that AEW Town is working with the Miz?
There you go. I'm going to put this out there. I'm going to do this kind of like I did with Hangman Page being Ospreay, and y'all told me I was crazy. I feel that Camille may not be in the gauntlet, or she may. It's regardless. She's the one that tries to screw over Mercedes Moné and accidentally costs Timeless Toni Storm her belt for Moné.
Okay.
And that's going to be her next opponent. Mercedes Moné is going to beat Timeless Toni Storm, and her first opponent, either the next pay-per-view or the pay-per-view after that, is going to be Camille.
I think you have Camille winning for that long-term storytelling.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if they go JFB's way, Camille doesn't need to win the title.
Yeah, she doesn't.
She doesn't need to win the gauntlet. She could just say, look, I'm the reason you won.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong.
Yeah. I think it would be interesting because, you know, that's the thing. Like, the minute Moné wins, the last thing you want to do is give her a credible opponent that may or may not be her on her first title defense. It doesn't make sense. You want to establish her as being the best in the business right now, female-wise. And the best way to do that is to put her against her old protege, Camille.
Okay, here's my question, though. Let's say Moné, obviously we're saying for Moné wins the world title.
Yeah.
What do they do with the TBS title?
Yeah, that's the tough one.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't. Like, it doesn't – it's such a big question mark because my issue is I don't mind Moné being a belt collector with everybody else's belts. But when you only have 2 belts in your women's division on your main promotion and the same woman has it, that's a problem.
See,
because that TBS belt needs to be used like the Intercontinental belt. It needs to be used as we're going to introduce someone and they eventually are going to be the next in line for the women's championship.
You know what I do? I have Tony Khan come out, or not even Tony Schiavone, and announce that Tony Khan is asking her to relinquish that belt because you have so many duties as the world champion.
I have no problem with that at all. But it is a tournament.
Yeah.
You know?
I will say, this is what I would have done personally. Before the Owen Hart tournament, I would have had Mercedes Moné drop the TBS title. And then that should have been her sole mission by hook or crook to make it through. Because she's like, I've done the TBS title. Now it's time for me to get the world title.
Yeah. And
then you don't have this issue with one person having both singles titles. And on top of that, we don't have to do the whole vacating of the title.
I think that's what's going to happen, though.
It's probably, but if we did what I said, you could have made a star by.
Well, let's get in the freaking time machine and let's do it.
Yeah.
What's the next pay-per-view after All In? Is it All Out?
Forbidden Door and then All Out.
Okay, so I mean, you relinquish the belt, you get a 8 or 10 women tournament going. And the finals will be at Forbidden Door. and you give the opportunity for someone new to come in and get the TBS belt and run with that for a while until they're next in line for a title shot against your world champion. That's how I would do it. It makes more sense. It adds a little bit of drama. It gives you another storyline that you can run through for a few weeks through Dynamite and Collision. Like it gives people an opportunity to go, ooh, who's going to be the next in line to win that TBS belt? That's huge. So yeah, I have no problem with them relinquishing it all.
And on top of that, it forces Tony Khan to put more women on TV. Win-win.
Can't beat that. I think we're done.
I don't think there's really much more to talk about.
Oh, there is one more thing I want to talk about.
One more.
So the match I want to talk about is Kenny Omega and Okada.
Oh yeah.
And why I want Kenny Omega to win. I only want because this is what I want. I want Hangman Page's first opponent to be Kazuchika Okada. You could play off of their history from All In and everything else, and you can have Okada say, "You've never beat me. I want a shot at the world title." And it's that simple of a story. And you can have Okada put over Hangman first defense on his en route to MJF, which is the real story to be told.
What I like about this unified title is if Swerve and Ospreay don't win, it frees up Swerve to go after the unified title.
Yeah.
And put the shine on that belt.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. You have Magic right now with Ospreay and Swerve. So here's the thing. There's only one tag team. There's only two tag teams right now that have the ability to have a legitimate shot at beating the Hurt Syndicate. One of them is toiling away in Collision, and that's FTR.
I will say, banger of a match last night with the Outrunners. My God, that match.
Oh, that was a great match. Absolutely amazing match. The
Your other
one
team is Swerve and Ospreay.
is Swerve and Ospreay. And to be honest with you,
well, the Bucks could do it too, but
if they lose, if Swerve and Ospreay lose to the Bucks, I expect within at least 2 to 6 weeks, Swerve and Ospreay making a run at the Hurt Syndicate.
I think if they lose, Swerve and Ospreay start fighting.
I look. You have Swerve and Ospreay win.
Yeah.
Hangman also wins the title, and you can have Ospreay doing some really compelling television for the next week or two, being in Swerve's ear, be like, "Yo, we work great as a team. Let's go after these tag titles."
Yeah.
So that way you're not rushing these guys back into the main title. You can give Kenny Omega a chance to establish the unified title, and you can even run, and then you can have those two go after Kenny, or you can have them go after Hangman or whatever. You can do everything. You don't have to sit here and do this stupid thing of, oh, you guys can't challenge for the world title for a year. Because you know what? A lot could happen in a year with injuries where you may need to pull in case of emergency and say, Swerve or Will, I need to put the title on.
Yeah.
I don't think you wanted, because that's what freaking Cody did at the beginning of his career, and he never recovered in AEW. Ever.
Yeah.
And what I like about the Young Bucks losing, it challenges them as artists and performers to come up with their next gimmick.
Which could eventually be them, which honestly, it could be 6 to 9 months from now, they could start turning face. And everyone will buy it because it's the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants Bucks and FTR. Yeah. And the best iteration is a heel FTR and a face Young Bucks because of their styles.
Yeah, you could build it up for All In next year.
Yeah, have that epic rematch in England 3 years later.
Yeah, I can see it. Absolutely. I mean, this is what makes AEW so great right now is that there is a huge unpredictability when it comes to AEW. Like, it's not laid out like, like the card track at Disney where you're on a rail and you have to go and, you can use the fake steering wheel all you want. You're not going anywhere. You're going in the direction they want you to go. I think what makes it so interesting is that there is a level of chaos that exists in AEW right now. There is no solid, this person's always, like you have your 5 or 6 guys that are going to wrestle all the time for the heavyweight championship. And then you have a group of girls that are going to always wrestle for the women's championship. And those are your alphas. But you have so much going on right now with your mid card. It's insane. WWE wishes they had this problem right now.
All right. So what I want to do now, I want everyone to have their final thought on the weekend.
Okay.
And then we'll wrap up the show.
Okay.
So we've been really pro AEW on the show, but the reason for that isn't because we don't like WWE. It's that WWE is responding to AEW's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And they're not putting this like their own WrestleMania against it.
Yeah.
They're putting a Saturday Night's Main Event and an NXT show.
Yeah.
And then
a
women's Evolution that they
don't give a crap about.
Yeah, it seems like that. So
they're not promoting.
I think that's my final thought on the weekend is that WWE is countering with bologna sandwiches when AEW is trying to put out a steak.
I love it.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong.
Here's the thing. I love wrestling. I don't care in what shape or form it comes in. I just love professional wrestling because it's an escape. It's an escape from bad days, good days. It's just a way to escape and not worry about stuff. I remember years and years ago when I was a kid, I begged my mom and dad to send me to a soccer camp because I wanted to get an edge to be a better soccer player. And it cost a lot of money. And I didn't grow up even middle class. Like I grew up pretty poor. So, my parents really taking the time to earn that money to put me into soccer camp. And it was exorbitant. And I remember the first day I was so excited because you get a box lunch and it was like a sandwich about yay big and like a shriveled up apple. That for all this money that they spend, that's essentially what we're getting this weekend. We're getting
I was wondering where this soccer camp story was going.
We're getting this prime rib station with AEW where they're gonna slice you and a horseradish and all this other stuff.
You're making me hungry, Debbie. It's almost lunch here.
And then you're gonna be like the next day, you're like, oh man, I can't wait to see what they're gonna serve for us today. And it's like a pizza slice about yay big and like a dried up fruit cup. Like it's not good. And I'm really disappointed because this should be the weekend of awesomeness, and it's going to end up being AEW. And I think it's great because AEW is going to break a whole bunch of records, but they're going to get eyes on the prize. You're going to get a buttload of people who have never seen AEW that are going to be curious enough to tune in, and they're going to be blown away, and they're going to become AEW fans. That's what
really quickly before EVPJ goes, I think what AEW is doing really well right now is they're focusing on their own stuff instead of bad-mouthing WWE.
You know what? Because I will say there was some news reporter asked Tony Khan, what do you think about WWE counter programming?
Yeah, and Tony Khan used to.
He would have gone off the rail.
Yeah.
But his PR game has improved tenfold because he was like, look, I'm focusing on putting out the best thing AEW can do.
Yeah.
And there's no better answer to that question.
Yep. Absolutely.
Because in the past, he hasn't always been good at that.
Oh, no, he would go off the deep end.
He's like, I got more money.
I mean, he walks around with a chip on his shoulder because he realizes that WWE is your big brother. You're the little brother,
and you always will be.
I think like someone like Bryan Danielson reined him in or something.
Yeah,
probably. I wouldn't
Chris
be
Jericho.
surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Mick Foley said it best. AEW is doing what it does best, and that's not worrying about WWE and worrying about AEW. And I think that says a ton about.
And WWE has such a huge head start that you don't want to try and topple them. It's like why be David when you can be someone else?
Exactly.
You could be Bob off Wandering in the Woods.
Yes.
All right, Joe. What are your thoughts on the weekend?
I'm gonna be a little sappy here. This is like I'm going to All In Texas with my son, so I just want to have a weekend of great memories.
Yeah.
Hope he has fun. I know I'm gonna have fun. I'm just along for the ride, just ready to just to enjoy Texas and All In. I'll catch up on WWE at some point.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's what this weekend is for me. It's a
we have
weekend
some
of
like
off.
special things there that are they're like some like WrestleMania-ish things.
I know like 2 hours, like before and after the show, they're doing a tailgate, which I'm gonna try to attend. But they announced so much cool stuff, like way too late for me to plan to go. Like Thursday night, they're doing AEW karaoke. I would have loved to have gone to that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like it was just they announced it way too late for me to change my plans to go.
yeah. So. All right. That's the end of the show, guys. A weekend of awesomeness is almost upon us. A dawn of a new era, if you will. Superman, WWE, Ring of Honor, we got it all. Wednesday night, tune in because it is the go-home show for AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite. Join us right after for Dynamite After Dark. I'm sure we're going to do it.
Are we going to do a pre-show on Saturday for All In?
Absolutely.
That's going to be an early pre-show for you, Canada.
Yeah. I don't mind.
But hey, also JFB, you're getting your match for the number 2 spot for the women on Wednesday night, like you asked for.
I know it's about freaking time. I mean, talk about cutting it close. Guys, that's the end of the show. How do you get a hold of us? Multiple ways. All the links are down below. All you got to do is clickety-clack. Go to DraftKings. Go to our social media. Go to our YouTube channel where you can donate money. You want to show the world how much you love the AFW network. Get one of the shirts, yo. ProWrestlingTees.com/effing wrestling lays it all out. We got tons of t-shirts, multiple ones coming soon. Get your shirts today. On behalf of Canada Dry, on behalf of EVP Joe, I am the JFB.
I'm going to keep it simple. Raise your fist in the air and put that devil in a sharpshooter and just keep fighting. It's me, Mario! You forgot to put me on the Super Show!
Thanks for tuning in. This has been Tony Schiavone for the All Fan Wrestling